New Jersey's paid family leave law. Advocates wanted to see job protections for workers who take family leave extended to all businesses statewide, regardless of size. But lawmakers recently amended the bill to exclude businesses with less than 5 employees. That's a compromise some legislators thought would help it cross the finish line. But as Raven Santana reports, activists argue this version leaves behind more than 1 million workers in need.
Paid leave is a critical component so that caregivers can effectively participate in the labor workforce.
Today, a bill that would require companies with 5 or more employees to provide paid family leave advanced out of committee. It's a proposed revision to current law, which requires a company with at least 30 employees to provide them up to 12 weeks of paid leave during a 2-year period to care for a sick relative or for a newborn or a child who has recently been adopted or fostered.
Well, paid leave really helps level the playing field for all employers. Smaller employers may not be able to afford to pay maternity leave, parental leave, family leave themselves. So what we have in New Jersey is a state program, and it's actually funded only through employee payroll taxes. And so it actually costs the employer nothing.
Yara Willman-Cole is Workplace Justice Program Director for NJ Citizen Action. Willman-Cole joined other advocates who shared testimony and explained how challenging life can be for workers without paid family leave.
For me, with my previous airline, unfortunately, I suffered a miscarriage and I had to take a lot of time off for surgery and self-care, and I did not have access to paid leave through the state. I also did not have access to any type of disability or leave through my job, and it was a lot of things I didn't understand, and I didn't have of course, going through grief and all of that, I didn't have the mental capacity to try to fight the red lines and read and figure this out. And I didn't have anyone advocating for me. I didn't have any explanations either. I was just told I don't qualify.
But advocates today said they still don't support the bill as it's currently written.
This bill only addresses the size of the employer in terms of job protection. And really, there's about 1 million workers that are left out because of the 2 other components of job protection eligibility, which require that you're at your job a year and that you work 1,000 hours. Those are not addressed in this legislation, and what it means is we're disproportionately leaving out mostly women workers, low-income workers, part-time workers, more precarious workers already that really need the paid leave. They need the job protection because without it, they can't risk losing their job and they can't afford to go without pay. So they need both the job protection and the paid leave benefit.
Under the current law, employees would be able to return to the same job after that period, and employers would also be required to maintain that absent employee's benefits, including insurance. But businesses with under 30 employees are not required to do so.
But the state chamber respectfully opposes this legislation because of the disproportionate impact it's going to have on small businesses. So we ask this legislative body to please vote no on this legislation and let business owners decide what's best for their organization.
But the bill isn't a win-win for everyone. A number of representatives from organizations, including the NJBIA, argue that the bill will hurt, not help, small businesses.
So for example, if you have a business that employs as few as 15 employees, so that would be captured under this bill. Let's say an employee goes out on leave, maybe they're handling HR, accounting, compliance. They have a lot of tasks that they cover. If they go out on leave, and let's say somebody that's handling clerical work wants to cover for them, and they do a fantastic job, and the employer sees that, they really appreciate what they're seeing from this employee, and they want to actually elevate somebody internally. They wouldn't be able to do so under this bill because they have to provide job reinstatement to the person that went out on leave.
To Assemblyman Auth's line of questioning before, we think that may increase if you are seeking to fill skilled or knowledged roles with temporary labor that may not have permanency or a defined end date because there's already a guaranteed job going back to somebody else when they return from leave.
Still, both sides say they're disappointed that their amendments to the bill were not included, and the bill will move to the floor as is to be voted on Monday. For NJ Spotlight News, I'm Raven Santana.